find out. As you say, weather is tropical for Spa conditions, and therefore the drivers obviously will go out on slicks. The tarmac is still fairly cold because we're very early in the morning, so as somewhat usually on a Saturday, we expect the first part of qualifying to be somewhat calm and come to a head towards the very end. As the track evolves, it becomes more rubbered in, and especially the track temperature gets higher as we get from 9 until 9:30 when this qualifying session ends. It's a 7-kilometer track, so traffic in theory shouldn't be quite as bad as, let's say, on the Norris Ring. However, if all of our 22 competitors go out towards the latter stages of the qualifying, we expect traffic to be a topic that the drivers will have to contend with.
It's not very often that I disagree with you, but I think across 7 kilometres, our driver base with Danilo Del Fabro as one of those, I think those and the teams will work really well together to make sure that they're not impacted across the 7 kilometres. But then after saying that, best laid plans can sometimes go awry. That's A-W-R-Y. So you're absolutely right. As we go into the garage of Scuderia Prague, the Czech team with some great drivers. And there you can see the hands device being put on there. The head and neck support, which goes on before the crash helmet, which is very much mandated in the Ferrari Challenge, where safety is of paramount importance, of course. And good to see that drivers getting ready then. As Nico has said, there's 22 drivers that will be contesting this qualifying session. We've got 6 in Trofeo Pirelli. You can identify those cars because they have a red strip across the top of the windscreen. And we also have our Pirelli AM drivers who have the white strip across the top of the windscreen, just like Leon Runbeek then, who we can see here. Good morning, Leon, and best wishes from all of us to the Mertel Motorsport driver, to my knowledge, making his debut in the Ferrari Challenge this weekend. Armin Arifpour then makes his way down the pit lane now, anticipating the green light in 2 seconds from now. Make that 1 and the light should have gone green. Sure enough, it has. The pit lane is open and we are ready to go qualifying. We're looking at the car there of Hendrik Viol, the Scuderia Prague driver that we saw applying his hands device just a few moments ago. And now getting inserted into the car. And there you can see his name on the pillar there, and belts being done up so that he can go out and enjoy his qualifying session. It's really interesting when we go in the garages and we can see all the drivers there. And Alessio Dono, quite clearly, you can just see him to the bottom right-hand side of your picture there. He's in no hurry to get out. He's going to allow other drivers to go out there and put some tarmac down and rubber the track in a bit before he decides to go out there. And Alessio Dono has been one of those drivers, Nico, that has gone out, done an installation lap, maybe 2 installation laps, hot lap, brought the car in.
Yeah, definitely. He's been very good in terms of preserving the tires for the race in the afternoon by minimizing the wear during qualifying. You said it, for most tracks it's 2 laps that you need to really get the tires up to temperature. On this one, the 7 kilometers, maybe 1 lap will be enough. We will find out. As we pleasantly see our first competitors out on the track, Nicolo Daniello is one of those, and the other one is Armin Arifpour, if I'm not misled. And we can see there is some additional activity here in the pit lane, and Martin Habas is exiting the pit lane, number 82 from the FML D2P team, and well, he's already made more ground on this lap than it would take him from the exit of the pit lane to their headquarters, because it is literally, I mean literally, take Google Maps and find where that is and look at where La Source is, and you know it's only literally 400 meters, if that.
If that.
It's right at the exit of the track. So very much a local team, and therefore you expect to have local track knowledge at a maximum.
It's a great display and a collection of Ferrari Challenge 488 Evo cars then that take to the track, including Klaus Branson in the number 98 car. And there you can see Klaus, not quite in the car yet, but he's not far away. He drives for the Formula Racing team. The head honcho of the team is a chap called Alan Jurgensen, who I had a chat with yesterday. He's always of cheery disposition, it has to be said, and it was lovely to talk to him yesterday. And there's some of the local wildlife here, about to probably not enjoy quite as much as us some of the track activity that will come across what is going to be a very, very packed weekend. Lovely creative blur on that lens, isn't there? Just to add a little bit of artistry to the wonderful production from our team around the track and also in our OB truck. And we don't give them enough credit for making a lowly individual like me sound as good as I possibly can. Lovely people.
No comment except for the obvious one. This is the
must try harder.
This is the bus stop. This is
made famous by the Fatback Band, but absolutely, I think it was more famous for the being part of the circuit Spa-Francorchamps, of course.
Probably, and if you. Obviously, the bus stop has gone through several iterations in its history. It looks very different from the times of, let's say, Michael Schumacher, who we just passed on our way to the commentary studios. We passed several pictures of him and Ayrton Senna and so many of the other greats of Formula One and motorsport history. And because obviously Spa is one of those heritage circuits that you can't imagine racing history without. And it's so great to have the Ferrari Challenge here on this very track. It has also gone its recent alterations and modifications. One of those is the gravel bed on the outside of the La Source Turn 1 track, and that is not where
we expect to see Leon, but Leon has got it pointing in the right direction once again, but that gave you, it's almost as if he was listening to you to show you the gravel trap.
Yeah, exactly. It's not as relevant here in qualifying session, but we're in, let's see,
Cold
on the exit, yeah, absolutely cold tires, early morning, and kept it out of the barriers, which is good for him and everybody else involved. To finish that thought, where previously into turn 1, you could see drivers running 6, 7, 8 meters off the track just to avoid being collected or any cartage on the inside. Now there is pretty much a firm barrier, because if you run into the gravel, best case scenario, you're going to lose 10 positions or so.
Absolutely.
Worst case, you will be stuck in your race ends right there. But for now, we're in qualifying session, 5 minutes and change done. Not a flurry of activities, but we're getting there.
Nicola Daniello from Garage Zenith then, and there you can see in the number 11 car making his way, having completed Sector 1, about to complete Sector 2 as well. We're not expecting any meaningful times necessarily to be posted onto our timing screen, and indeed on the graphics that you will see on the left-hand side of your screen until a bit later on in the session, truthfully, but we will see. I remind you that we have a mix of Pirelli and Pirelli AM drivers. They are classified in completely separate categories. And Nicola is one of the Pirelli AM drivers, denoted by the white strip across the top of the windscreen. The Pirelli drivers, not one of whom we've seen out on track yet, carry the red strip as Nicola then through the bus stop chicane that Nico was so eloquently describing just a few moments ago. I'm sure he's probably done the research, and I wonder how many years ago it was actually a bus stop from where the name comes. The number 82 car is Martin Havas then for FML D2B. Team being responsible for engineering that number 82 car. Another driver also making a debut here in Spa-Francorchamps in the Ferrari Challenge. So a bit of activity out there on track. And we do have our first times now. I'm going to avoid saying that they're meaningful times, because at 2:43, 2:44 and 2:55, and those have been posted by Otto Blank and Nicola Daniello and Armin Arifpour. Don't think they're necessarily times that will mean too much yet. However, as the bus stop awaits the car of Martin Havas, who, as you can see, by dint of S1 and S2 on the graphics at the bottom of the screen, painted purple, purple sectors, Sector 1 and Sector 2. So relative to the other drivers, that was good lap. Lost some time in the final sector, It is enough, though, for Martin to go P2 in the order so far, but we've only got 4 drivers on the timing screen at the moment, having posted times. So expect the second half of this session to really busy up with lots and lots of track activity. And there you can see, just climbing into the car now is James Owen, who is a super driver, and James Owen is another driver that drives in the Ferrari Challenge Trofeo Pirelli class. Here's Otto Blank then, and by dint of S1 being coloured purple, he's gone quicker than anyone through Sector 1. So Otto Blank in the number 71 car, who has raced in the last 3 rounds of the Ferrari Challenge in Europe. So basically it means he's done Le Mans, Estoril, and now here in Spa as well. And as you can see, for the Lueg Sportivo Herta racing organisation that is headed up by Frank Herta, it's purples through Sector 1 and Sector 2. Target time is 2:43.836. This is going to be significantly better than that as he breaks the timing beam with a 2:35.102. So as you can see, that has taken some just under 9 seconds out of the previous best time. So right now we look at the car of Martin Habas, who has also gone quicker through Sector 1. 7.004 kilometers. There are 19 turns, 10 of them are left-handers, 9 of them are right-handers. And on the calendar, it is one of the more undulating tracks that we go to here in Spa-Francorchamps. And right now, with Newsbeat information, here's Nico Spelling.
Same
thought process there, yes.
Yeah, as we said, Spa has been renovated, modified several times. In this part, where Havas is going through, this is the current bus stop chicane, which doesn't really look like a bus stop. In previous years, it was literally left-hander, short straight, right-hander. So exactly the way a bus stop is being designed, and it was used until 2003, then was modified, and then was remodified in 2007 to how it is now.
Right.
So 2006 kind of was the last year that it really looked like a bus stop. And go onto your favorite video platform and look for some of the older footage, and you will recognize that the cars were going through a very different motion going through the chicane. Now it's really only a chicane before the final short straight that gets the speed down ahead of the pit lane entry. No getting the speed down on this part of the track, and this is where we will expect some overtaking come the race later on, because slipstreaming here on this track is absolutely crucial.
Whilst Nico was giving us the potted history of the final turns of this track, Martin Habas has gone quickest. Rapidly followed by Angelo Fontana for Rosso Corso, who we can see now, who might be hampered and impacted just a little bit by traffic, as you can see out there on track during this qualifying session. The one thing that I said perhaps may not affect us because of the sheer 7 kilometers, well, there indeed it does, with 2 cars that may be impacting Angelo's run, though as you can see, Sector 1, Sector 2, both purples. I rather fear that Sector 3 will have been compromised, because even though throughout the Ferrari Challenge the discipline is very good from the drivers and they do their level best to get out of the way, just by virtue of the fact there's a car ahead of you, it does always impact and changes. And you can see now how this Angelo Fontana is was on a quick lap. Martin Habas, and you can see the back end of the car just stepping out there. And there is no question about it that, Angelo Fontana, Sector 3, did get it all together, and some 4/10ths quicker than Martin Habas, who we can see is now on a hot lap as well, because Sector 1 and Sector 2 are both purple. So Angelo Fontana with a previous 2:30.068. How many drivers have we got in the 2:30s? Only 2. And it's this man is the other one, Martin Habas for FML D2P, who literally, the coffee is brewing in the headquarters of the D2P as we speak, which is literally just 200 meters further from that camera shot that you saw as he breaks the timing beam now at 2:30.068. So 2:29.981 for Martin Havas is the time that vaults the previous one, that vaults it by quite some measure, Nico.
Yeah, exactly, and I think that is just a test or indication of how much Angelo Fontana lost on that final sector with the traffic, because he had 2 purple sectors as well, and
yes,
the last one was still good enough to take P1 for the moment, but it was just a result of the first 2 sectors being as quick as the Martin Havas time. And I think this bus stop chicane is really the pinch point, because it's very hard to predict where traffic will be towards the middle of the lap. It's even harder to predict where traffic will be 2 minutes 20 seconds into the lap, and that means if another driver is preparing for their for their quick lap, they will be going through the bus stop at their pace. There is no way to get out of the way.
No, I was going to say, you know, it's a compression. You know, you could try your level best to get out of the way and not impact anyone else. You're utterly, but there's nothing you can do, because the track is just not wide enough for you to disappear into thin air. And furthermore, as you say, if they are preparing for what is going to be a flying lap for them, then actually the trajectory off of that turn means that you're quite right. They're using a completely different line, and they're focused and concentrating on what they're going to do. What a shot that is as Hendrik Viol then through Eau Rouge. And now Radion, the Scuderia Prague driver, that is a brilliant onboard shot. It really gives some semblance of speed to the 488 Challenge Evos here. Chicane coming up, right-hander then left-hander. When is the braking going to come? Well, goodness me, later than you or I would choose to do it on our bicycles.
I never brake on my bicycle. I only break bones on my bicycle, but that's a different story, and we're not here to hear that. It's a great shot indeed, both on the straight as well as through that chicane, Prouvon, and now that long right-hander, which is...
Oh, it pulls the car away from you, doesn't it? You know, it's almost gravitates to the outside, doesn't it? It's wonderful. I was with the Ferrari Challenge in Road America just last weekend, and some of the onboard shots from there, which it's in itself, it's an undulating track like Spa-Francorchamps, but quite as long. But yeah, some of the onboard shots there were similar to these onboard shots that we're seeing, which are just so evocative. They're absolutely wonderful. Well done to Robbie, I think it is, who is responsible for putting the onboard cameras on and deciding where they go. Done a good job.
Yeah, definitely, and a great shot and great work from the guys in the OB van as well to give us that lap, as we've just eclipsed half distance in this qualifying session. And in fairness, the Pirelli drivers haven't really figured in this one. It's all Pirelli amps at the top 9 positions on our timing screen. Everybody else still biding their time or just coming out of pit lane as we see that final run through Blanchimont and towards the bus stop. And there again is an instance of where traffic might be. It works out in this case. Yes. Heavy braking here into the bus stop, and you can see how much of a tight turn that is. You're almost coming back onto yourself. Sausage curve on the inside and then on the outside, a little bit of runoff, but there is not much, and then it's a short sprint to the line. Hendrik Viol, P1, 2:24.337. That is marginally quicker, 4.6 seconds.
That has taken the previous best time, wrapped it into a pot, and really sent it to Martin Havas. That is a huge margin, Nico, 4.6 seconds. There you can see Alan Jurgensen, top geezer at the Formula Racing team, who is looking on. And as Nico was saying, we've not seen too much from our Trofeo Pirelli drivers yet. They're about to make their way out onto the track. What a lap that was. In replay then, you can just see just how aggressive those curves can be. So Hendrik Viol from Martin Havas, Danilo Del Favero, then it is Angelo Fontana, Leon Rundbeek, then it's Otto Blank, Armin Arifpour, Klaus Branson. And Klaus Branson now goes second fastest. He gets within 4 seconds of Hendrik Viol. I mean, that is a remarkable time. The thing is, Nico, you and I have known the Scuderia Prague team for many years in the Ferrari Challenge. They are an ever-present. They know how to make these cars work and how to kick the bottoms of their drivers.
Absolutely, but consider this.
Oh, okay.
Best quali time
Yes.
in Trofeo Pirelli last time we were here with the Ferrari 48 Challenge 488 Evo.
Yes.
2:22 low. So
Wow.
there is still some air in this, and just to underscore that, Henrik Viol, purple first sector, so that 2:24 is not the limit for him.
I would wager, forgive me, I would wager that those times that we saw from previous time we were here at Spa-Francorchamps, because what we should make mention of the fact is local time, it's about 20 past 9. It's still fairly early in the morning, isn't it, Nico? Which perhaps you will agree with me, perhaps you won't. This is the reason why, in my opinion, the Pirelli drivers have allowed all the Pirelli AM drivers to go out there and put some Pirelli down onto the tarmac before they make their moves.
Oh, absolutely. And Nicolo Schiro was the one who put that pole position time onto this Ardennes racetrack, as Henrik Viol takes another 4/10 out, and we're already below 2:24. However, track limits mean that lap doesn't officially count.
James Owen, incidentally, big up to James Owen, who has just gone second fastest. Well done, James. Here comes former Formula One star Adrian Sutil for the Gome Baron Motorsport team. Now, if anyone knows his way around these 7 kilometres, I would suggest that Adrian's probably got a pretty good idea, Nico. And we will see that what he is able to do. Expect this to be a good time from the number 5 pilot.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he oozes experience. Obviously, the times he raced here with Formula One, the track was the same, the car
Yes.
wasn't, and he is certainly not having it all his own way in the Ferrari Challenge, which is just a testament to the quality of competition. But 2 purple sectors to start. Now, these purple sectors are in class, please bear that in mind, as we score the Pirelli and the Pirelli M drivers in separate classes, also on our timing screen, even though they will be mixed up obviously when they hit the track later on for the race. Now he approaches bus stop, and I do think he's taken, because of traffic, he's slowed down and probably will have another go at this. Let's have a look. Well, let's have a look into the pits, and
That's Alex, Tom Fleming's partner, who we can see there. Incidentally, I've just had a private message, Nico, from the very boss of D2B, John Bortique.
oh, very good. Hello, John.
He's just back from the Middle East. He's going to come and say hi to us. Always welcome. What a fine racing driver John is.
Yeah, absolutely, and
Much missed in Ferrari Challenge, if I may say.
indeed, not only a fine racing driver, a very fine character too.
Nice chap.
Yeah, you know, John, you know, we're only wanting to get an invite for tonight for the big party at G2P. No, actually not.
Here's Enzo Podolicchio. I was having a really nice conversation with Enzo last night for Ferrari of Central Florida. Now, I believe there are 3 USA-based racers that are here this weekend. We have Lisa Clark here, Tor Haugen, and Enzo Podolicchio. Now, Enzo, to my knowledge, was not racing last weekend in Wisconsin, but certainly Lisa and Tor Haugen were, and Lisa is having a real purple time of it in the Ferrari Challenge, and actually took a P2 and a P1, and Enzo follows that with another P1 in for stateside with a P1 here, Nico, at 2:24, 2:27.
Exactly, and we're under 9 minutes remaining in this qualifying session, and bearing in mind...
Oh, whoopee-dee, it's all going to get very exciting.
Indeed, and with 2 minutes 20 seconds and a little bit in terms of best lap times,
time.
that's only like 3 and 4 laps at full throttle, and don't think about a red flag, which would really upset those who are buried down the order right now.
Forgive me, but talking about my experiences last weekend, that is precisely what happened, and the session got curtailed because I think there were 4 minutes left on the clock, and race control were of the opinion, well, actually you're only going to get an installation lap and a bit in, and you're going to have to do a hot lap. It's just not worth running the session. So a number of drivers were called out there. So that's the gamble you always take by going out very late. You and I have talked about this on so many occasions in the past across Europe, that sometimes does it not make more sense just to go out there and bank a time early on with a view to perhaps coming out later on to try and usurp that time. But everyone has their own modus operandi when it comes to qualifying, including Ben Valent, whose modus operandi was to put it into the pit lane as Adrian Sutil looks to cross the timing line now. P2 currently, and goes P1 for Gome Baron Motorsport with a 2:21.680, Nico.
And there is proof to what you said. You felt like the 2:22.3 of 2 years ago would be beaten, and it has just been beaten
The time's just been taken
decidedly.
away. Time has just been taken away, Nico.
Retract the last sentence, but it shows the speed that is in the
there.
track and is in the car and is in Adrian Sutil. So expect more attacks on that time. Adrian Sutil being one of them. Eliseo O'Donnell, an obvious candidate. So is Thomas Fleming. So is Simon Ladniak. So we still have lots of drama in us in this qualifying session. 6 minutes 55 seconds. Again, Adrian Sutil, first sector 39.8, which is so much quicker than the best time in the Pirelli class.
Turn 17, Nico, seems to be a favourite one with regards to track limits.
And that is
That's where you're carrying maximum speed, forgive me.
exactly, and you can really slingshot around that if you just run a little bit wider.
Good word, slingshot, I like that.
Yeah, I learned it from the master, who's
it?
actually
See you then.
left-hand side of me. It's yourself. This I don't think is any fog. I think there is just that little bit of artistic moisture which is on that camera lens and will surely be removed after that session. But for now, we focus on what's happening on the track. Eliseo O'Donnell, as you can see, he has put in a lap onto the screen. Max Mugelli has done likewise. None of those are competitive.
Yet.
Exactly. Adrian Sutil, he's approaching the second timing line. Sector 2, he was very, very quick. And much quicker than the reference time through the first 2 sectors. Bear in mind, this is not 5 seconds quicker than Enzo Podolice, but 5 seconds quicker than his previous best time through this part of the track. 5.5 minutes remaining. This is exactly where track limits have bitten some of the drivers. He keeps it inside the white line and is approaching the bus stop.
Do the bus stop. Do the bus stop. Adrian Sutil then, this time, is it going to count? Because last time his excellent lap was taken away through track limits. Now he heads towards the timing lane, and it's a 2:22.164, Nico, which to my knowledge stays there. And here comes Eliseo O'Donnell trying to respond for Radici Automobili. Sector 1 purple now. If I may be honest, Eliseo, in my opinion, has been the qualifying master during the course of this season. He's literally gone out, he's taken virtually nothing from the Pirelli tyres, and he just vaults everybody. Oh, big moment there where he certainly exceeded the track limits, and he's just gone out there and delivered in almost 1, maybe 2 laps, which meant when it comes to tyre longevity, he has had that. So let's see what he does now. I do think, as he just dips the back end into the gravel, which gives us something of a stone shower, and he's doing it again. He's pushing too hard, Nico, and that has utterly Horlicked this lap.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that was not an intentional running wide to slingshot, but it was certainly wide, and he was far into the gravel. And let's see if he can do something with this lap and whether it will still count, whether race control considers that an infraction of track limits or just an excursion that was unintentional. He again goes over the sausage curve, so a little bit unsettled through the final part of this lap, but let's see where he ends up on our timing screen. It's obviously an improvement for the time being, not quite where the first part of the lap looked like he would end up, as we have a look at Tom Fleming,
who has gone top with a 2:21.950. Now the thing is, there's only 3.5 minutes remaining in this session. Now for someone like Eliseo O'Donnell, he can do 2 more laps maximum, if my calculations are correct.
Yeah, absolutely. And let's watch where he is after the first.
These two
sector
have had something of a ding-dong, haven't they, all season long, which has been compelling for us to be able to bring you that activity between these 2 drivers. They are both absolutely awesome drivers, and both very young. They're whippersnappers, if you will, but they have had terrific tussles on the track. Sometimes they've been quite aggressive, but you know, that's part of racing, and what makes us absolutely love this series. So For the moment now, Tom Fleming has gone quickest. Now, there was a very, very brief yellow flag which has been taken away, because with only 2.5 minutes now, anything that happens on the track which causes a yellow flag incident or something like that, you've had it, haven't you? Which goes back to what I was saying about, back an early one. Alessio Dono, look, is trying to right the wrongs of his previous lap. Sector 1, he's gone quicker than anyone. So expect the tussle at the top to be between Tom Fleming, Adrian Sutil and Alessio Dono.
Yeah, definitely, and we can see Tom Fleming's second sector on this lap is not going to look like a massive improvement. Alessio O'Donnell, we will see what his reference time is through 2 sectors as we follow Tom Fleming through the final sector. Alessio O'Donnell, yeah, he is quicker, half a second quicker.
That's big.
So Tom Fleming, he will know from his team that Alessio O'Donnell will probably snatch provisional pole from him. So the lap that he's going on to now with 1 minute and roughly 40 seconds remaining, that's going to be the one that he will try and make count and potentially retake pole position. It's not on this lap, it's on the next one. He's actually improved a little bit.
Wow.
But Alessio O'Donnell, here he comes through the bus stop. Full throttle, 2:21.884. I'm sure he will better that.
Well, as he breaks the timing beam, it's a 2:21.346. Your prediction was absolutely accurate. And it's a big jump. It's 5/10, Nico. That's a real margin. Now, thing is, Adrian Sutil, I said, is going to be part of this. I think he's just been warned about track limits through sector 1, Nico.
Yeah, the current lap for him doesn't count, but he should be able to finish.
Will he get across the line to do another one?
I think so, but it's not quite sure. That we'll see how. He has got about 20 seconds to finish the second sector to be able to duck underneath the checkered flag and still go around once more. But I think for the moment, let's focus on Alessio O'Donnell and Tom Fleming. And I think Tom Fleming has.
He's bailed.
Yeah, he has decided that whatever happens, preserving tyre longevity is more important. Yellow flag and turn 18, which means everybody who's currently on a quick lap.
Turn 18, that's the entry to the bus stop.
Yeah, and has been removed again, so probably someone spun around there. So Adrian Sutil, doesn't have enough time to complete this lap, so very likely.
With 15 seconds remaining in this session, I predict that Alessio O'Donnell is going to be his team have told him you've got nothing to push for, so he's going to be P1. Whilst all that's going on, Franz Engstler has done a great job in Pirelli Am, as he's done so many times during the course of this season, and he's put it P1 for Pirelli Am with great showing from Enzo Podoliccio, who's gone P2, and a great show from Hendrik Viola as well, who's P3 in that particular category. So absolutely fantastic. There you can see the celebrations down there with the Radici Automobili team, who have once again engineered that pole position for Alessio O'Donnell. It didn't come easily, Nico.
No, and for Alessio O'Donnell, that must be a double relief, because he took pole for the first 4 races of the season, and then from the next 4 it was only 1 pole position, so the trajectory wasn't there. No. But he has reaffirmed his position as the qualifying master.
And the relief there.
Yeah, well done. James Owen, good showing from him. We mentioned him earlier, P5 in class.
Big up, James.
P10 overall, so very good showing.
And from Welsh Wales, you know. He'll slap me for that. Well done, James. Good effort.
Deservedly, probably. There is Alessio O'Donnell, done it best of all. And he only needed 4 laps, as did Tom Fleming, and that sets up a very, very juicy turn 1 into La Source. Those 2 on the front row. It's going to be an interesting one, but Alessio O'Donnell has done everything that he could. Reduced the tyre wear, maximized the output. Well done.
And to add, if I can say, going into this qualifying session, in terms of points, it is close between Alessio O'Donnell and Thomas Fleming. There's 23 points between them. Make that 24 now, because the point for pole position, Nico, I hope I'm accurate.
Yeah, absolutely. And remember, it's 15 points for a race win, so he's in a good position.
He is in a good position, but it's not an invincible position.
Absolutely. Yet. And remember, there is only 1 race.
And remember.
Do you remember that the World Finals, there is only going to be 1 extended race like we had at Le Mans, so it's only this race today and 2 more.
Yes.
So if he can get to the final with the gap that he currently has, may just be enough, it may not be enough.
It may not be.
We will find out, but for the moment he's done everything that he could, and he will be overjoyed with his performance. Remember, he's a young driver, primarily raced in Italy thus far.
Yes.
So track knowledge at Spa is not limitless for him.
And look at there. There is the Rotiform Pole Position Award, which are lovely awards, Nico. Hint, hint, hint.
You want one too?
I'd love one of those in my office. I think they're gorgeous. The Rotiform Pole Position Award. So that not only carries the fact that you have that beautiful, beautiful trophy to take back, and there you can see it, but you also have the very valuable point. It is valuable.
Yeah, absolutely. It's valuable for the point it gives, it's valuable for the grid position, and it's valuable for having a clear line of sight to the front. It's not going to be raining in the afternoon, very likely, because obviously with the spray it becomes even more important, but here are the results of this quali session.
For Trofeo Pirelli, Alessio Dono, Thomas Fleming and Adrian Sutil then round out the top three. Now for Trofeo Pirelli Am, it's Franz Hengstler, Enzo Podaliccio. Great job done, and great job done also from Hendrik Viol. They are the top three in Trofeo Pirelli Am. Bear in mind, there are two categories within the race that you will see this afternoon, and the Trofeo Pirelli drivers and the Trofeo Pirelli Am drivers. It was quite an enjoyable qualifying session. It kind of went the way we thought it would, in that the Trofeo Pirelli guys allowed all the Am drivers to go out there and put some rubber down on the track before they ventured out. I sometimes question the viability of that strategy, but on this occasion, it has worked. And there you can see the helmet coming off of Simon Ladniak, who is also a Trofeo Pirelli driver, P4 I think, for Simon, if memory serves me. And there you can see to the left-hand side of your screen, Franz Hengstler, just looking at the data, who has delivered once again for Trofeo Pirelli Am. Well done, Franz. Charles Pozzi GT Racing, I mean, he has been racing since steam powered the cars. I don't mean that, Franz. That's really unkind. He knows we have a great laugh, but he is, the heritage he has as a racing driver is enormous, Nico.
Absolutely, and Franz Hengstler is very likely to clinch the championship this weekend. He's got more than 35 points now, 36 points of an advantage. It's not locked yet, but he would need to lose a lot of points over this weekend to even make it a race going to the final.
He's done a great job, and of course he has vaulted up to Trofeo Pirelli Am from Copa Shell last year, which he won. Copa Shell qualifying is on the air at 10:40. Please join Nico and myself for that, but for now, thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.